Here we go.
Nice.
Look at that.
I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh, you just killed it.
It worked.
You killed it that quick. You gotta let
the old theme music and all that good stuff.
You gotta let it ride a little bit.
The reason why I couldn't is because I ripped it from a previous podcast that we did.
You don't have the original version?
Dude, I looked everywhere for it and I couldn't find it. So I'm like, well, shit, what am I going to do? So I went to my iTunes and I found I still have a bunch of the old episodes downloaded.
Yeah.
And so I went through 5 of them and I tried to find the one that had the music running for the longest. So if I left it going for another second.
You can play it off of YouTube.
There's a lot of technical things I could have done better, Kristian. But the point is, we organized this well enough that we're here, we're back. It's kind of like the Schmoes, but a different channel, and it's the two of us. It's like we're in phase 1 again, my friend.
Yeah, it's like we've planned this. This has been planned for what, 3 months, right?
We were talking about not even doing a Schmoes reunion, but it took a pandemic for this to happen.
Yeah,
but now that it's here.
I was kidding. We just kind of threw this thing apart.
It's just because you and I were talking in the last week, hey, we should probably you pop into my live stream, or I'll do SEN and then you come over here. And then we were texting today and I was like, oh, well, it's Thursday. And didn't we used to do the show at some point on Thursday? So why not just have us do the thing, get the kids excited, and we're back and we'll give them at least an hour, at most an hour and 5 minutes of quality entertainment. Yeah,
well, you had told me, did you announce what we're going to do yet, or no? You don't want to do that yet?
No, I don't think it's a big secret.
No, I didn't know. But as far as I didn't know if you'd announced it, if you were teasing it, but when you called me to say, come up with some of your top moments, and you said Schmoes moments. So I wasn't sure if you meant overall, or if you meant Schmoes No Live.
Well, yeah, that is something we're going to do. I'm going to consider it Schmoes No, as in the live show, the podcast, or a movie review. So it can be any combination of those. So Kristian and I are each going to give you all our list of our top 5, and really off the top of our head, best moments in Schmoes No history. So I'll tell you right now, 3 of mine are from the live show. Okay. And 2 of them are from movie reviews. Yeah, I think that we're definitely going to have the same one when it comes to movie reviews. Maybe both, because I think 2 of them are in movie reviews for me as well. Possibly. Okay. I think we're gonna hit at least one of those, and I think we might be a little. I think we'll both agree with each other's Schmoes No Live ones, but I also think that we'll probably have different ones too. The one I didn't end up putting this one in my top 5, but the one I was thinking, do I shoehorn this one in? Is because I still have the picture on my computer of at the background of you and I crying when The Force Awakens trailer came on at Star Wars Celebration, and we're pointing to our eyes because we're so excited that men of this age could be moved emotionally by spaceships. Yep. Yeah. Well, when we went that also for me, just going there, that was the first time. It was before, and it's still when the fandom was pure, and we would go to we went, and all those fans that were there for Force Awakens, and everybody was so excited about it, and just being in that room together. It was me, you, Tiffany. It was. I remember Jake. It was before Jake. Remember Jake the intern? Before he was an intern, he was he was there too. So it was him and Mance. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was. I would say. If you look at all-time best conventions, live things that we can't go to any of them now, but I think all-time it would probably still be the 2015 Star Wars Celebration, right? If the all-time con, is that what you said? Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. And then Orlando was great, was the 2017 one. And then all the I don't know, we had some pretty good Comic-Cons. We made a, I think I can say this now, the statute of limitations is over. We made a stupid amount of money a couple of years at Comic-Con with sponsors. Well, yeah, because remember at that time when we were independently doing Schmoes and everything too. And so you and I had our specific deal that we had with Collider, but we had a whole crew. So we were like, shoot, how are we going to be able to pay the crew now? And we had that sponsorship with Loot Crate, and they had given us a nice change to do a bunch of stuff. And that's how we were able to pay the crew for 4 months. Are you tired of broadcasting because you're doing 2 hours every day? I would be exhausted if I was you. No, because it's not just broadcasting for me right now. It's socializing. So that exhausts me too.
Yeah, because I know it does, but you know, it's good to be out. I mean, could be out. It's good to be talking to people because that's how I'm used to going to work and talking to people. You know, doing these, whether we're talking business, whatever we're talking, or goofing around, and we're not doing any of that right now. So, you know, this is okay for me to do.
No, and I'm trying to think of what we would have done in a situation like this back when we were like in the heyday of Schmoes. Like if we were like the phase 3 at Toad Hop or phase 5 at AfterBuzz, like what would we have done?
If we had this program, we would be doing this.
Yeah.
We'd probably be doing this a lot.
But there's no movie news. Like Ken would be out of a job because there's no the news to do it.
Dude, you're talking about back then what we reviewed Princess Bride, for God's sakes. I mean, we review everything. Back then, people don't understand how much Mark and I reviewed. Like, we reviewed everything, like old school movies, new movies that were coming out. You and I would go to screen because we were both not working at the time. So we would go to screenings on Monday at like 12 and then Monday at like 7 p.m. Like, we saw like 2-3 movies a day sometimes.
Yeah, you knew this thing was really becoming a priority for me when I started having to miss my intramural basketball games to go see some movie that I did not want to go see just so we could review it the next day, because we were all about consistency.
It was consistency, and it was also just building the channel, because at the time, you know, it was Jeremy Johns, Stuckman, and then us, really, and Grace Randolph. So that's everybody who was kind of going at the top of the tier and making moves. So we were doing the same thing. Yeah.
Who was the guy that was like when we first started doing movie reviews?
Peter Rallis.
Was that Fury?
No. Fury, the film fan.
Yeah, remember that guy?
Yeah, of course. He was a New Yorker too. I used to get along with him, because he was he and I would we would talk, and he was just a New Yorker. But I remember all that stuff, yeah.
And then because it's all kind of a blur to me, because like you had the genius idea of doing like the You Reviewers thing, which is like you just invited everybody and their brother and their sister to like come do this thing. How did you and I get through all, because I edited at least one of the years, I think.
No,
I don't know
you never edited that. No, you never edited that thing.
That's why we made it.
No, what happened the first time we did it, and Jeremy and I have told this story, is that so for those people who don't know what the You Reviewers were, we had kind of decided to do the banding of all the movie reviewers that were out there. And again, it was Chris Stuckman, Grace had done it. It was Jeremy. It was, it was tons of people that had done it. Flickpick. And we had all these straight. I remember Roddy Piper do something for us. Katie did something for us. And it was like a full on award show, but we had no one to edit it at the time, you know? And so we I guess, I asked our friend Mike Picher to do it. Mike Picher did, but it wasn't done the right way, the way we wanted to do it. So I think Jeremy actually edited year 1. So
Jeez.
Yeah, because
I get that guy to do that.
I don't know, but Aaron started doing it.
Yeah.
Because remember, Jeremy only had like 10,000 subscribers when we started doing those. Mothman Jones, I remember Mothman. We brought in Mothman. John's awesome too, and he was one of those guys towards the end when we were doing it that I had noticed, because again, another New York kid, a nice kid, and he was kicking ass at movie reviews, and I think we put him in the last 2 years. John, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember if it was the last 2. But yeah, so that's end. The thing was, I think one of the main reasons what we decided quick is you and I have always been more radio guys. And
really? You think we're radio guys?
You don't think we enjoy more? If you had a choice to, if really you don't like doing radio?
No, I have a desperate need for attention, so I'd much rather be on camera than.
I'm talking about like kind of this and doing what we're doing now, as opposed to just sitting in front of the camera and reviewing, which is fine. But it was like, I knew that's not all we were going to do, you know, because because we were having more fun when we could be you and I, and we were on Adam Carolla, and that's really what kicked us into doing podcasting.
Was seeing his operation. Hanging.
You remember how we got Carolla?
Oh yeah. We did a live show. Yeah. We did like a live show. Like people like came to watch the Schmoes No Variety show, and it was like a mix of like stand up and we'd like play like a movie review. It was in Room 5 in Hollywood, and we'd have like some of our friends would come in and do stand up.
Crystalia was headlining every night, every time we did it. Steve Renazzisi, Eliza,
Ingram.
Ingram. Yeah, it was it's Steve Simone. That's how we met Roddy. We met Roddy Piper through Steve Simone at the Schmoes No Live show. Back then, do you remember we had 3,000 subscribers at the time, or 4,000 when we did that show? Can you imagine if we did that Room 5 show now, and if we had those people on back that we had on back then, that place would sell out. We could sell that place out every night because it was like 80 people that would come in, and on the bill was Crystalia, Eliza. I think I don't know if Sebastian came into that one.
I think he did do it one time.
He did do one. Yeah, Sebastian.
He did, yeah.
Right. So anyway, so
what was the worst part? What was the worst part about doing that weekly show for you? Because I know my answer. What was the worst part about doing the live show?
It's funny enough, the business part of it, like the door, and
the answer is primarily me.
Oh, but wait. Let me answer. Let me answer it. I know what it is. Setting up the curtains.
We had to. Like, imagine what that looked like now. Imagine if anybody came to that show, because they had these big windows that would look out over Beverly Boulevard. Because we were playing like some video clips, and it was stand up. We wanted it to be blacked out, and so I got duct tape and taped curtains, and like by the end of the show, half the curtains had fallen off.
I know it happened every time. It would always happen every time. But that show was really fun. But anyway, so well, you know, we had two people, producers who did stand up. Can you name both of them?
We had two producers that did stand up.
Yeah, for the first time.
Oh, it was Ethan Irwin.
Yep.
Who had a good set but did not get us on Corolla, and then it was Naveed McElhargy who did get us on Corolla. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, in a certain way, yes. So he did a set. And Naveed, for those who remember him, he's been in the Schmoedown a couple times. So Naveed, and he was on Schmoes back in the day a bunch of times too. So
great hair.
Yeah, and he's a very popular guy, good guy. He's a buddy of mine. So he gets up, he does his set, and Deadline Hollywood covers it and says, "Oh yeah, Rachel or Ethan Irwin did stand up, and he crushed. He crushed for like."
See, I wasn't the first one to make Schmoedown competitors do stand up. No. This was Kristian used to do it before I did.
You know what I want to do? I want to see. Ethan has to have that on tape. I'm pretty sure that we taped that for him. If he has it, I want to see if he'll let me release it on the Schmoes channel.
I know who has it.
Ooh, Chip?
Well, if somebody does have it, it's got to be Chip Dornell.
But Chip didn't record our things. I don't think he was. That was the Schmoes stuff. That wasn't that.
He'd be the only one that would have it. But as a like backup, we could just have him do stand up again.
That would be great. I would love that.
He was so awesome.
He was great. But anyway, so Naveed went up there. Deadline Hollywood covers it, gets all this traction, and Corolla's people pick it up, and they reach out to Naveed, and they put Naveed on the show. And Naveed, hey, Adam Harrington. That's awesome.
Dude, we got a lot of celebrities in the house.
Oh, Adam was. Speaking of Room 5, do you remember how Adam Harrington would crush on karaoke?
He would do The Darkness, I believe in a thing called Love, and hit all the high notes and blow the. He would sing the glass out. I covered the curtains.
Do you remember who his arch rival was in karaoke that he had a head-to-head battle with at the end?
I do, because he's got a very famous Vegas story. Sheldon Anderson.
No, it was not. It was not Sheldon. It was Kate Mulligan.
Kate Mulligan.
That's right. Andrew Santino would come up as Duncan. Remember his character Duncan that he did?
I do. What was the thing?
It was like he was this very awkward character. And before anybody knew who Andrew Santino was, Andrew did this character. I think it was called Duncan Knows, and he would. So Duncan Knows. He basically he would go up there and he was very awkward and he was like this nerdy thing, but he did this dance at the karaoke and he sang and he won a couple of them by doing it. But no, see, Adam Harrington's in there and he said he was robbed against Kate Mulligan. And now look at if Adam Harrington would have won that, he would have been the co-host on SEN Live and not Kate Mulligan.
Wow, that's a way back in history.
That's right.
I'm surprised that you haven't been able to organize some sort of like Schmoedown karaoke tournament.
Oh, I've thought about it. I've definitely thought about it. I 100% want to do that. I almost want to do it like a one of those singing competition shows where we have 3 judges. We did that once, and it was Crystalia, Max Cook, and one other person. I can't remember who the judge was that was judging, because that's how we would do the karaoke contest. We would treat it like American Idol. There were rounds, and it would go. Remember how long it would go? It would go for like the entire night. It was awesome. It's like a
Danielle
comedy.
Stewart would do a tune.
Who did?
Danielle Stewart.
Yes, it was Daniel Stewart. I think Ken did one. So yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, so Naveed gets asked by Adam Carolla to go do a show as producer, and he's on there. And he and I were goofing around. And I was like, real nice. The one podcasting guy that doesn't even guy who doesn't even podcast goes and does a show with Carolla.
Yeah.
And so Naveed says, no, I'll hook you up. So he wrote to Adam Carolla's producer. They got us on, and we did Carolla for a good 2 years.
Yeah, it was a good run. I was talking with him about it. This is probably, I don't know how long we've been in this thing. But it's probably like a month ago. It was like one of my last sets at the store before we had to close, and Carolla was bringing me up in the main room. So it goes Adam Carolla, then me, and so we were hanging on the green room before, just talking about Schmoes and like all that. And then he was telling me about the other documentaries. He's got like 5 documentaries in the can now. And just like, we were just kind of shooting the shit and like talking about the old days. It was fun. It was good to see him.
Yeah, it's crazy. That was 10 years ago. It was,
yeah.
I think actually even longer. I think our first appearance we ever did it was 2010. Yeah, it was 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Tweet a celebrity. Yeah. Remember that? Did
we ever get a celebrity to respond?
Yeah, we got a few. Yeah, for sure. And I think we even got the girl from what the hell's that show on Showtime with William H. Macy? The one what's that?
Oh, Emmy Rossum?
It wasn't Emmy Rossum. It was, I can't remember. I don't remember. Anyway,
yes.
Yeah, we'd have quite a few.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah. But we had a bunch. Yeah. And anyway, it was I remember, and I cannot remember the name of the super talented girl who did the song for us of Tweet a Celebrity.
Tweet a Celebrity.
Yeah, it was great. It was really good. It was a good little tune. She was like the original David B.
Yeah. Well, this is not David B popping in here, but we do have somebody's mom wanted to say hi.
Oh, cool.
So this is a mom of one of our former Schmoes No compadres. She was a big hit whenever she called into the show, and she wanted to come in and give a quick hello. So please welcome Mrs. Riley.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the Schmoes No doing their movie show again?
Yes.
I'm going to tune in on my TiVo.
Well, wait, Mrs. Riley, what TiVo hasn't been around for a little bit. How do you actually watch? No, not for a little bit. How do you actually watch your shows these days?
Well, I like to put in a DVR and queue it up to about, I think it's the 95.5 frequency where you guys used to record your shows.
That's right.
And I would watch it back on half speed because I need to take a nap every 5 minutes.
That, of course, was with the great Wally Willis.
Of course. Right. Wally Willis is, well, he was good in The Departed, but I don't know what else he's been in since.
Yeah, that's true. How are you? That's good.
Mrs. Riley, I have a question. How come you're able to use your technology better than your son is? Because he was really struggling the other day on SEM
That
Live.
was the best.
Well, he's not very smart, that one. He was a theater major, and I warned him not to do that and waste all that money.
Riley, I got something for you. I don't know did you hear? Hey, what's up, brother? Did you hear any of SEN this morning? If not, that's fine.
Oh, look at him killing that wine. Well done.
Here, so
please, come on. It's after hours.
Yeah, that's apple juice to him.
Yeah, this is apple juice.
Yeah. Listen to this.
Hey, Roaring.
Orphaned
into Spain. This
Flash. Perfect.
My
favorite line from him. You read enough Penthouse magazines, this stuff sticks in.
It's the best. It's the best. The entire audience today, everything that they started was, hey, Routing. It was amazing.
Kristian, you have no idea how content you look in this pandemic that the world is going through.
Yeah.
You with like a case of Stella behind you, all these sound effects at your disposal. I've never seen you look happier.
It's not bad.
The greatest of man caves right now for you.
It's good, but I mean, I am chomping at the bit though. I just tweeted out a thing about the. So, Ellis, I tell you this too. So I just tweeted something out. You tell me what you think. I said,
God, let me experience it organically.
No, I'll do it right now. I'll let you know. I put some exhibition ideas, and I said,
I just started following you.
Oh no, on Facebook. So listen, exhibition ideas. I was thinking the movie release championship. We could have Manson Bateman.
Okay. Yes.
Thinking of a rom-com, Stallone, Arnie, Rocky championship, Jurassic Park championship, new release championship, Marvel championship, a fan tournament, Legends match, Bond Fatal 4. What do you think?
I'm not agreeing to any of these on camera, but I'm saying they all sound like great ideas.
Sounds good,
So
right? Yeah.
Is this a bit? Is this a bit or?
No, we're doing exhibition.
Oh,
Exhibition matches. Yeah.
I didn't. That's legitimately like, what's going on?
dude, your mom is more in the know than you are.
Well, she follows SEN on Facebook. You guys are number one.
That's good.
Oh, it's so funny. Riley, how's everything going with your show? I saw you had a very unusual guest on your horror movie show.
I did. I had one, as you call it, Hercules. Josh McCouga came on the horror show, which was fantastic.
What the hell was that like?
God,
that was the best. It's well, I mean, the title of the video was, "So why are you scared of horror movies?"
Yeah.
I just really wanted to know, and we got to the bottom of it as well as you can.
Yeah, well,
I think that the story goes that his brother scare the shit out of him, like when he was like young and made him watch Friday the 13th when he was like 6 years old or something.
Yeah, it's
well,
stuck.
Let's
ask him. Let's ask him in general.
Speak of the devil and the devil appears.
I love that.
That's great.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, did you? So we were telling a story. So your brother scared the crap out of you, right? That's why you're scared of everything.
Yeah, he used to lock me in the basement and shut off all the lights.
That plus Friday the 13th as a kid, right?
Yeah, Friday the 13th. No. What's the Jason one?
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Oh, Friday.
Yeah.
Took Manhattan, and then The Strangers on a First Date. And
The Strangers was like one of the scariest movies all time. So I get that one, that it gets you a little scared.
Was that the one where the girl didn't call you back afterwards?
Oh yeah, it was a first date. She never talked to me again.
Wait, that's the date story that he ever told on Schmoes. He might have told it on Three's Too Much too, which we'll do that reunion next week. He took a date to go see the Muppets movie, and like halfway through the movie, she leans over to him and she's like, "I probably should have told you this. I don't like the Muppets."
Yeah, first of all, she didn't know who the Muppets were. She didn't like the Muppets, and she'd never seen a Muppets property. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's not good.
No,
I mean, my God.
No, Josh, you have a huge audience here watching you. Congrats on Eating History. Eating History is great because
so awesome.
I know that Eating History airs Wednesday. So I know if I see a lot of people talking about Eating History, I know what day it is.
Yeah, that'll help.
It's a good
that
marker. Yeah.
Amanda's just started making like craft cocktails in our kitchen. We're hammered. It's great.
Yeah.
I told a text from Mark, I was like, "Babe, they're doing a live stream. I gotta go."
Yeah, good. I caught a piece of shit in my hand 2 days ago from a 2-year-old. So hope you're enjoying your fucking mojitos.
How do you catch a piece of shit?
Well, it was a cause of drama in the household. I can tell you that much. So the kid is learning how to finally stop. Well, not this particular circumstance, but she's been stopping shitting in her pants. So she's 2.5. We're getting her out of it.
Are you there now, Kristian? It's like when Belushi walks into the frat house in Animal House, and that one bottle comes out of nowhere, and Belushi just catches it.
Yeah.
Are you just at the parenting level of now just shit? Nope. And you throw it aside, and you're there.
No, I mean it just never turns off, Mark.
Yeah.
And so I mean, like, anyway, so the kid, she had these underwear on instead of the diapers. So we thought, okay, she's letting us know when she has to go. She didn't let us know. So there we go. And I don't know I'm used to taking the diaper thing. You take off the straps on the side. This is full underwear. I'm like, what do I do here? So I'm like, Sadie! What do I do? And this is the one time I was like caught, because I've been doing this forever. So this kid's just like, all right, I guess I'm just going to go with this. This idiot doesn't know what he's doing. So then I go to take the pants down, and there's something in there. I can say this, and I don't want it to hit the furniture. So my first instinct is to reach, and I catch a piece of shit in my hand, and then it just all go. I sit her on her. This whole, I'm not getting into all this. It's a disaster. The whole thing was a nightmare.
Riley, refresh my memory because I have to say bye to you in a little bit. But what did you do on the show?
What did I do on what show?
What is it you do?
Yeah.
On Schmoes, because I know Josh's main job was stand right behind me and look like he's tweeting, even though he was texting any number of people.
I don't know. Can we roll the tape? Because I'm still confused what I did. I sat on the couch.
It evolved.
And I looked up news at one point.
Factorson. The job evolved because it
became schmoesknow.com.
Right. The famous story is always that it was the first way that it came through was it was a battle between who would be the actual producer of the show between Makuga and Ken. And what did you guys? Well, it was like funny tweets and the fans had to vote or something.
Had to vote and Ken won. Thank God.
Yeah, I know. No shit. And at that time, like we didn't know. We were just kind of adding people because I would call Ken because it was just me and you at first. They were doing when we went on Toad Hop, Mark. It was me and you, and then we had Catherine Reitman for a second when she was at Toad Hop. But then we had Katie for a bit. But that was really it. It was the three of us, and there wasn't really a producer or interns or any of that stuff. And then Ken and JTE came on, and then Riley came on, and Makuga came on full, and then that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. Right. Well, I apologize for not having music because like all these segments had their own like kind of signature music. And to be fair, Kristian and I are going to do our top 5 like Schmoes no moments of all time, and I wasn't going to make any bit in the top 5, but if I was going to make a bit into the top 5, it would be this next bit. Ladies and gentlemen, here with the news is Ken Napzok.
I was hoping this would happen.
Yes.
I was hoping this would happen.
Talk over the music.
I'm Ken Napzok, and this is your Schmoes No News Update brought to you by Magic Hat Brewing Company and Josh Makuga's ex-girlfriends. The world is still a serious place, and while a cure is not yet found, at least we don't have to watch DC movies. It hurts. Movies going forward are just going to be celebrities like John Krasinski and Steve Carell doing hand puppets on Twitch on Get used to it. We're going to be here for a very long time. Tom Cruise, according to reports, wanted to put Maverick in theaters now because he believed that he was protected by Xenu the Thetan. Studios have stepped in, and the movie Maverick has been moved to 2032. And finally, next year's Oscars have already been full of nominations. That's right, the nominations have been announced for the 2021 Oscars, and turns out Sonic the Hedgehog has the awards. It's the only movie released in a theater this year. Congratulations to the best picture of the year, Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm Ken Napzok, and those were your Schmoes No headlines. Brought to you by Magic Hat Brewing Company.
Ken Napzok, ladies and gentlemen.
How much did it cost for you to get him to drag out to do that?
Oh my God.
A lot of this.
Oh, that's great.
Hiya, boys.
Here, let's Riley, we're gonna say goodbye to you, but we love you. And
love you guys. Have fun.
Later, man.
Great to be here with you guys. That was fun. Ken, you rock.
Thank you, brother.
Goodbye, guys.
What a sweetheart that guy is. So, Josh and Ken, you guys had an epic war to be the producer of the Schmoes No, and was that one of those situations where winning was really losing?
We could joke about that, but I really wanted it. I really wanted it. You know, I used to call when you guys were doing the 10 a.m. show. Kristian would get off and go walk Katie to her car safely, and then call me, and we'd go over the show, and I'd watch it, and so I was like, yeah, I want this, and I didn't know Josh. I was like, I'm a Cougar guy. I don't trust him, so I wanted to defeat him.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I would call you even before you were even really involved in it, because when it was just me, Mark, and myself at Toad Hop at the John Lovitz Club, I would call Ken. I'd be like, Ken, like, what'd you think? Like, and we'd go over certain bits that we thought were good, the interviews and stuff too. And he was kind of helping me produce the show way before he even was officially doing it. Yeah, and it was just you guys had inspired me to kind of like, podcasting is a form of broadcasting. I'd look down on it because I was friends with Lou Santini, and that's what we did. But you guys, your first show and doing that Star Wars talk way back in the day when it was far away, yeah,
all kind of fun and games. It was fun.
Remember that? That was me. That was myself and Tiffany, and then and then Roka came on for a bit.
Okay.
How about-
Can I want to play a fun game here? Now that again enough time has passed, like how many worse names are there for a Star Wars podcast than Far Far Away?
How many what?
How many worse names are there for a Star Wars podcast?
I didn't choose it.
Yeah,
he wanted to open the blast doors, which was much better than Far Far Away.
That's right. I wanted to open the blast doors, because I wanted to put the actual clip, like the whole thing would come in there. Open the blast doors, and I was told by certain people that people wouldn't understand what that was, and it's like Star Wars fans will know what that is.
Yeah,
I gotta be honest with you. There were so many Star Wars references in the first year of Schmoes Know that I just giggled through. I was like, yeah, what? In my brain was like, what's that? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, one of the first Schmoes Know shows that we ever did, because remember the first like 12 were in my apartment way before my daughter was even born, and like I think it was either the third or the fourth episode, and we did a two-parter, and it was me, you, Mark, and Ken, and we did two-part, one on the prequels and one on the original trilogy, because obviously the sequel trilogy wasn't out yet, and we had just kind of broken down those were pretty good.
Yeah. Simpler times, but a great start to it all, man. It's like Eagles' first album.
Oh, do you know, Ken, you know who's in the chat room or was in the chat room for a second?
What's that?
Adam Harrington.
Oh, no, I was watching. I was commenting on that. I thought Sheldon Anderson was his rival too, but I do remember the Kate stuff.
Sheldon came in, and Sheldon was one of there was like three badasses. It was Adam, Kate, and Sheldon. Right. But the final battle for that one came down to Adam versus and that was before Makuga. Makuga would have fit right into those legendary battles.
It's just one of the all-time great stories that Kristian and I can never tell. Maybe in the next Schmoes reunion in 10 more years. Kristian is already smiling. I know he knows what the story is.
It's your favorite story.
But I can text it to you like once every 6 months and get like a all caps ha 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 back from you.
Easily.
In classic Schmoes tradition, my beer is empty. Now I'm gonna duck out of the chat for a minute. I wish I had an intern to go get me a beer.
Shoesy pants around.
Yeah.
Hey, Raring.
Hey,
look at this.
Hey, interns.
Amazing.
It's here.
You did it.
No, I'm back. I'm running Alice a beer right now. But yeah, I'm happy. I haven't talked to you guys in like a minute. I'll talk to Kristian, obviously. But I'll talk to Ken and Josh, you guys, in a minute. Y'all, how y'all been?
I've been great, man.
Man, do I miss you, buddy?
I do miss RB3. The big problem is I love hugging RB3, and after all this, I don't know if I'll hug another human, but I'm gonna risk it all for RB3.
I can tell you, there's no one that makes me laugh more than RB3. Have you guys seen his Luke Skywalker impression?
No.
It's fucking incredible.
Do it, RB3. Do it.
I got to set him up though. I got to set him up for it.
Okay.
All right, so we'll do. I know. We'll do the easy one. Arnold walking up and trying to get some converters from Luke Skywalker. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm here at the Tashi station. You want some power converters?
I would love some power converters. What are you doing, kid? What's your name?
My name is Luke Skywalker, and I want to be a part of the rebellion, but I don't know how to read.
It's so good.
Oh wow!
He gets so excited. It's the best. I'm so glad that you guys got to witness that for the first time. It's amazing.
I don't even know what happened.
That's like me when I was watching Joe Dirt, or not Joe Dirt. What is it called?
Tiger Shark.
I love when RB3 came for his interview at the Barney's in Burbank across from the old Collider, and he showed up in a suit. And he called me Mr. Makuga, and I was like, "Don't hire this fucking kid."
Right. I always forget that RB3's first show was Phase 6, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Phase 6, yeah.
Collider. See, I always thought he's been around since Phase 3 because that's how long I've been in contact with him. Because, Ken, go ahead.
He would call in as like a 12-year-old.
He called in, but he took all of the so after we left. Remember, because the way that they broadcasted on Toad Hop. There wasn't YouTube. Like we couldn't get the actual files. So we never had the files. We only had the audio files. Right. And so RB3 was just a fan. And he reached out to me and he's like, hey, I can convert all these to actually video and put them on YouTube. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm a fan. I'll do it. And he did like the whole library. RB3, how many of those were there?
Oh, that was, it had to be at least like 140 or something like that. Yeah.
Massive. Yeah.
Those took forever to do. It took like, some of them would take like 10 hours or something to like record and then like edit and like upload them or whatever. So it was a fun time.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he did. And then I thought at that point he was going to be an intern. I don't know. It never happened. And then he came in phase 6 and became,
you guys had the Jake the Snake for a minute. So and then I guess he had to leave and then
also an open spot when he left.
Yeah.
I remember Ken interviewing Robert and Robert showing up to the Collider studio wearing a suit and then Ken interviewed him at Barney's Beanery, and it was so funny because he interviewed him on the patio of Barney's Beanery, and we're all sitting out there doing our post-game drink fest, and we're all looking. It's like we're all quiet watching this job interview go down.
Well, it wasn't me. I went over and talked to him. It was Ruvalcaba because that was Kristian's first job. I interviewed Cody Hall outside the Chili's. JT at the farmer's market, Shoesy Pants Joe I've known for years, so we brought him in there. But Cody was outside the Chili's.
Cody was outside the Chili's.
And
when Cody showed up, he was like, "Hey man, he's like started talking to me, walked away. I looked at Kristian, I was like, "Who the fuck's this guy?"
I remember that. And he was, and well, we still to this day we still break his chops for it when we had just brought him on, and then Comic-Con was right around the corner, and Ken and I were walking around Comic-Con, and Cody Hawkins was like, "Oh, that's the new kid. That's Cody. Hey, Cody, what's up?" Hey. Kind of walks by and like shaded us, and we're like, "Oh, we're never gonna let this fucking kid hit the end of this." And then we started calling him Upham from Saving Private Ryan because he just left us in the middle of nothing.
Is there anyone that you did not give a nickname to, Kristian, that you now look back and you're like, man, I really blew it. I should have given them a nickname.
I think everyone had one. Like there was Makuga had the Wild Man, the Pit Boss. I mean, RB3 just kind of came with a nickname. You know,
that counts.
Yeah, Copster came with a nickname at the time.
Beardo came with Beardo you gave.
Beardo, yeah. The Kid, the original Kid.
I saw that dude at ArcLight like a month ago.
Dude,
he's a really good director, man.
Brando's making films that are just, they look beautiful. I had him in Abstract. He's doing great, man.
He's been doing that. He's been making those types of movies forever. And I don't know how, but he's got a lot of connections. Like, so Dylan Baker, who was just on, he's on The Hunters, right? And so Dylan Baker, Makuga, is the first creepy Nazi that you see that reveals himself, and he's in it for the whole show.
The blonde guy.
Yeah. And so anyway, he's friends with him. He turns all these people. Brando, like the Kid, knew everybody. He was making. I don't know. He probably is buddies with Scorsese at this point. JTI was the original nickname of JTE. It wasn't even JTE.
Yeah.
Ken, can you confirm or deny when JTE was he already JT when he went to Screen Junkies? Because Screen Junkies called him JTE for the entire duration of his employment there.
Yeah, well, JT was the name they called him mostly. Yeah, you're right. No, he didn't carry it over there that too much, but it became his identity. I mean, that's who he is even to this day.
Right.
I don't think that Amanda knows JTE's name.
No. Well, it's the same thing with Finstock. Remember when Finstock, you guys, when we brought Finstock in, this is a famous story that Ken and Ellis cornered me at the Toad Hop on the stairs and said, "You cannot have this person on the show ever again."
Yeah.
And I said, "You got to trust me. The fans are going to like him." And you're like, "He's going to take down the show."
That was the end of the show as far as I was concerned.
You know what's an underrated Schmoes memory that I totally forgot about, because I just started watching that Dave show, Dave on FX with Lil Dicky or whatever, and they had a Cheeto Santana on there. And I'll never forget when he and I guess it was
Ali Starr.
Yeah, exactly.
Ali Hayes.
That one of the funniest. I was rolling on the floor like that entire.
It was a riot, and I think that we've actually taken that one down because he actually asked me to. At the time, he was on an ABC show,
right?
And so he asked me to. I've had a few people, and I get it. Like they're getting jobs and it to take certain things down. So, we did it for that one, but I don't know. At this point, I think all the stuff he talks about now, you're not wrong, RB3. That's a riot, that episode.
Yeah. Oh, that was a crazy one. Yeah. Ali Hayes from the star of Emmanuel 5 on Cinemax. That was crazy one.
Someone just tweeted that moment in about when because Ellis sometimes there's a thing like you'll do like sometimes you don't have a filter. 98% of the time you do, and and sometimes you don't give a fuck. And you did that when you talked about Tiffany's dad's penis, and like when you did, that was one of the first times that I was crying. I was crying laughing. I could not believe that you said it, especially with her because she's like such a good girl, and like when you said that, oh, I fucking love it.
I think I peed my pants a little, to be honest with you.
So good.
That's not the question of having a filter, not though. That's the question of being so wide open in the corner for a three and somebody passing you the ball. And you're like, coach is going to take me out of the game if I don't take this shot. I have to make the defense respect me. And it was just right there. And even as it's coming out of my mouth, I feel bad I'm doing it. But the comedian side of me won out. It was like frosted mini wheats, like the nice side and the comedian side. And the comedian side won out. And I just had to do it.
But it also it gave a lot of props to the show. And I think that Tiffany is underrated with how much she always went with it. Tiffany always went with it, always had a good sense of humor about it. Like, even if it was the stuff that she didn't like, that she wasn't comfortable with, she leaned into that and went 110 miles an hour into the fact that she was like kind of goofing around about it or not. Like the stuff she did with Finstock was amazing. Like she always like beefed it up. Like the music would play and she's like, oh no, it was great. The little like mini rivalry. That was like the start of like the first kind of Schmoedown drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like the person in like an improv team that didn't say no. Like it wasn't like she'd go on and be like, no. She would just like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she went with it. She wasn't psyched about it at all. You know
Sometimes
what I mean?
the Finstock stuff she had fun with when she did that because she would goof on it and she's an actress too. She liked to play into it, so she would always keep it up.
I think so.
What?
I think so.
No, I'm telling you, we would talk about it. Her and I would talk about it all the time, and she was like, because we would used to tease the fact I was like, I'm going to play the music around this time, and she's like, all right, and I'll just let him have it when he comes in. I'm like, absolutely, yeah. Like that's why I play. Remember we proposed to her during the Schmoedown.
Yeah,
I gave her the Stallone mug.
Oh, it's good.
At this point, I do have to bid Josh and Ken a goodbye. But I appreciate you guys hopping in.
You got it. See you.
Josh, congrats on meeting history.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Bye.
Ken, what's that shirt you're wearing? Oh, he already took it off.
Hey guys, love you.
Later.
Hey, Roaring.
I was working on getting another special guest. So just so everybody knows, Robert is kind of representing all of the interns, the many esteemed interns that we've had over the course of the years tonight. One, because Robert was the first one to comment that Kristian and I were going to hop on the show tonight, and also because I reached out to JT. He was not available tonight, but he wants to hop in the future. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank
but
you.
You never know. We might get a couple more special guests here tonight.
I love it. Are you doing it? Speaking of that, is this the actual song or is I actually know that the fence. Hold on, let me see if I can find them, Ellis. That was great.
Here.
The great pull. There he is. We were just talking about you, how you almost brought down the entire thing. See, you're. It's amazing how bad you are at technology too. Here.
This is a whole new thing I got.
There you go. Here it is.
Kind of personal vendetta against Bobby Finstock. It's Bobby Finstock. No. It's Bobby Finstock. No. It's Bobby Finstock. No.
That's song. Remember,
It's incredible.
that's what we would play. We would play that song.
Can you see me on here?
What?
Can you see me on here?
Do you have a microphone? What do you? That's unbelievable.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to get a microphone. What? I mean, you have like $80,000 worth of walkie talkies. You don't have a microphone. Exactly. Plug that into your computer. You don't have a microphone.
Wait, why are you guys wearing shirts? I thought you're not supposed to wear shirts. I thought that was the agreement here.
Is that part of the rule? What is that? A cat? What is that back there?
No, that was a baby panther I got. I just bought it.
Oh yeah, you did the Tiger King.
Yeah, well, it was a baby. It's a teacup panther.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you love the Tiger King? That is perfectly made for you.
Yeah. Well, my new name is Tom Erotic.
Yeah. Have you watched that, by the way, the Tiger King?
Bits and pieces.
Oh,
I've been there before.
This is up your alley. How you're not watching this show? Dude. This is up your alley.
Hey, Tom,
he's the best. But they found the guy. He's in West Virginia, Mark. They found that.
I'm not from West Virginia, Tom. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. I'm from the other Virginia. It's a totally different state.
It's amazing. It's like, even though he doesn't have a mic, it's like you can't hear anything that he's saying.
It sounds like he's underwater at all times.
Does it really? Oh, you know what? Maybe I should get the headphones. What about the headphones?
Yes. You sound like you're yelling in the middle of a handball court. Doesn't he? Seems like he's playing. You could see him in a 1988.
While he goes, we're gonna say hi to Tiffany real quick. So,
hey, wait a minute. I've been trying to get her on SEN for like weeks, and she keeps writing me back, telling me that it needs to be advanced.
You texted me twice,
and
what happened was I had a little like house party app during with girlfriends tonight, and so I told Mark, which I've been clearly drinking scotch. I was like, I don't know if I can make it on, and then you just texted me literally as I hung up. So I was like, okay, I'm just logging in. I was like, just remember where I just was.
Well, you can settle a discussion we were just having before you came on. We were talking with Makuga, and we used to talk about how you and I used to play into the, I don't know if you know, but Finstock obviously in the room here, how we used to play when his music would come on, and you and I would talk about it beforehand, and you guys would like ham it up, but it was like so much fun to watch you like.
What are you talking about? Ham it up?
You didn't ham it up? You didn't ham it up with Finstock?
That was real, Kristian.
Get out of here.
Yes. This is my question, because even I, as the co-host.
Do you think it was by accident that as soon as I logged in, he left the room right now?
Yeah. Well, just wait. I'm sure when he comes back in. I'm sure.
I wanted to give Tiffany
does he know that she's here?
He does not know. I wanted to give Tiffany a window to come in and say hi, and then Tiffany has the option to leave whenever she's sick of us, so she can take off whenever.
He can hear my voice. He knows I'm there.
He's running around to no one's surprise without a shirt, and then the second thing that he's doing, there's a cat running around his apartment, and you can't hear anything that he's saying, and he's trying to find headphones. Here he comes.
No, please, can you put a shirt on?
I think I'm good now. Am I good now?
Yeah, much better. You see who's here?
No, you need a shirt.
Wait, was that Tiffany?
Yes.
Wow, you're a sight for sore eyes.
Can you please go put a shirt on?
Well, who wears shirts in their house?
Normal people do.
No, normal people don't do that.
Did you not get like the work memo for people that was like, I read some article the other day that was like, pants have dropped in sales and t-shirts have gone up.
Yeah, well, not around here.
Not you. Where's that cat? What happened to that cat? Is that cat safe?
He's over there.
Tom, now did you vote for Joe Exotic when he ran for president?
Twice. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He ran for president the first time and then governor.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I voted for him twice. I'm Tom Erotic now, so that's what want to be named now.
Tiffany, does it surprise you if I tell you that Bobby Finstock sold RB3 a fake pair of Yeezys? Would that surprise you?
No. I mean, here's the thing. It surprises me because I think that somewhere deep in his heart, he's a good person, and that's a really key thing to do because Yeezys are expensive. And I know because I got sucked into it and I bought myself a pair. And I was like up waiting for them to go on sale. It's a big ordeal. So that's really messed up.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got bamboozled too. Even the best can get bamboozled at times, Tiffany, you know? Hey, what's that couch? That velour in the back? What is that, velvet couch?
All right, look, here's the reason why I put this whole thing together, okay? I'm gonna come clean. First of all, everybody in the chat room has been so nice. We have a lot of luminaries in the chat room. You're here with me, Kristian, Robert, Tiffany, and the human version of COVID-19. We're all here in the chat room, and I wanted to give Tom the floor because, Tom, I'm giving you one more to apologize to Tiffany for all of the the mental and emotional anguish that you put her through all those years. Tom, your apology, please.
All right, let me get into position.
Hey, Rory.
Well, look, I mean, look, Tiffany.
Am I allowed to look at the screen yet? Oh my god.
No, I'll tell you when.
Okay.
It's Burt Reynolds.
Look, remember that? Yes, play girl. No, the stuff we used to do on that show was pretty unbelievable.
Tiffany's peeking.
It was pretty unbelievable stuff. So, and no, she handled it very well. I was coming in there like a loose cannon. I mean, I was a complete lunatic for like probably about 15 straight years. And she caught the real brunt of that. Yes, I proposed to her. Things happened. I mean, I thought it was an excellent proposal. I referenced Teen Wolf. I referenced Joni and Chachi. I remember it like it was yesterday. But that was yesterday, and today's today.
Right. Well, Tom, you gave a great effort, but we're going to say goodbye to you so we can hang out with Tiffany proper. Say bye, Tom.
Am I done?
Yeah, you're done.
This is it?
This is it.
Kristian.
Well, that's not my show, man. That's pretty much how every episode needs to go anyway, right?
The feeling of power that I just got from removing him from the stream, I haven't felt that alive since the last time I did stand-up. That was incredible to do.
There's two parts of that's a lot of fun. It's that's the extreme version, what you just did, and you also just can mute people on the other side from your, so that's also fun.
Yeah.
So he keeps talking and no one can hear you.
Yeah, like he can.
It's so much fun to do. Tiff, how are you? How are you handling this whole new crazy world that we live in this day?
As well as I can. I think I keeping like I feel like 90% of the time I'm great, and then 10% of the time it's like that meme that showed up where it's like in 5 minutes I can go from being happy to so depressed to crying to like, oh, I'm coloring to like this TV show's great. I need to go for a walk. I don't want to go outside. Like, all of that is going on inside of my head all the time. I'm definitely, being as safe as possible and taking it really seriously, and have been inside of my house. And if I go outside, I do stay 6 feet away from people. I literally was like, I have this sun hat. It's not 6 feet wide, which I'm like, I should get a hat that's that wide. But it's wide enough just to be like, no one will really come into the vicinity that's really close to me. But it's weird. I mean, every day I wake up and I'm like, this is real. This is really where we're living in right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Robert, how are you holding up, bud?
I've been all right. I've been taking this opportunity to really like get into more personal stuff like writing, editing, trying to stay busy.
Actually being productive is what you're saying.
But it's also been my missing of the NBA has been, prevalent. So it's been a lot of playing 2K, a lot of that too. A lot of watching NBA live streams on YouTube. So I'm doing my best.
I've watched so many old NBA games from the 80s. Like it's going to be weird to turn on a modern NBA game and see long shorts because I'm so used to the short shorts and the long socks right now.
Yep.
I don't know what you just said. I've been coloring.
Have you really coloring? Oh, look at that.
Hey,
nice.
This is the last one I colored recently.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, so
word out of your skull.
What Kristian and I we're going to do towards the end of the show, and if y'all want to hang out for another 5-10 minutes, y'all are more than welcome to. I told Kristian to come up with his top 5 Schmoes No moments. This can be like a line, this can be like a thing, a segment, whatever it is. So we're going to count down our top 5 moments of all time. But if Robert, Tiffany, do you guys have anything that comes to mind as far as like the all-time favorite Schmoes No moment for you?
Okay.
You got one, Tiff?
Huh?
You got one?
Yeah, I have 2 actually.
What do you got?
The first one, I think was probably the second time that Katie Sackhoff came on the show.
Right.
And I just remember, and I think I said this to her and you guys in there, but it's like she had like potty mouth, was cursing, and I was like, I literally felt like kid sister because I had come in after her as like helping co-hosting and being on the show. And I was like, I want to be just like her. That was a really cool moment. And then the other most memorable one for me would definitely be when Samwise Gamgee came on the show.
Oh yeah.
And like amazing. I was fine during the interview, but it was afterwards he came up to me and was like, I was like, do you have a tattoo of Lord of the Rings? Because I do. Knowing in my like inside of my brain, I was like, Tiffany Smith, you know that they got tattoos together. Can you please be a normal human being? And then I literally was just like, I just turned into a sweaty Comic-Con nerd. I'm sorry. And he was like, yeah, you did.
He loved it though. We had him on twice. Remember we had him on that first time, and then he came in. I remember you totally geeked out. It was awesome to see.
It did. But professional and together during the interview. Was afterwards. It was not so much.
We were so pumped. Like I remember the feeling in the studio that day because like anytime you have a big guest coming into something like Toad Hop, which is like a WeWork building, you're nervous about everything. You're nervous if they can get in, if they can find parking, if you're on a little bit of edge. Then they come into the studio and you have so much juice and like you just want to talk about everything. But that was one of the best interviews that I think collectively we as a team ever did because everybody got their moments in and he was such a cool guest. So that's definitely a great.
He was there twice. The first time he come in, the first time he came in, it was Jeremy and Katie, and then he came in, it was Tiffany, myself, and you, which was he'd come in, he had fun that first time.
Yeah,
sure.
Were both of those in like what phase was that?
3.
Was that 3?
Yeah, Toad Hop was all. Yeah, you started in 3. Yeah, because Toad Hop was all because it was Katie for the start of 3, and then you came in because we met you on an audition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the two of us. Remember that audition, Mark?
I remember the audition. I remember I remember the 3 of us vibing very, very well. Yeah. Was there a 4th person? Because we were testing for something.
There was, and it was the girl from the Hills or something like that. It was some.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was.
Yeah, and there was a 4th, and whatever it was, and the 3 of us were like, we don't really like it. It didn't. She was nice, and we're not. But you could tell that the 3 of us had a vibe. But we should have gotten the gig, the 3 of us. Tell you that.
I don't think the show ever happened.
No, probably not.
Robert, your all-time favorite Schmoes No Memory. What do you got?
So these are 2 that I want to give 2 as well. One is easily when Sasha's cat had punched the director in the face and made him start bleeding.
Try to eat his face.
I was easily. I stopped PTSD from that moment, like getting those towels, like, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
No, that one's up there. And then one moment that I wasn't on for was the trial of JTE, and I'll never forget that. Is just like one of the most legendary Schmoes No moments ever. So.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much up there with the best that we've ever done. Kristian, I think that you and I will kind of ride the show out as a duo the way we started. But do you have any parting words for Tiffany or Robert and all that they've meant to you over the years?
No. Absolutely, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I muted him just to mess with him. So I'm kidding.
No, well, Tiffany and I, it definitely started. It's funny because I'm actually looking at a picture from like phase 5 where I think it was me, you, Zach, Levi at the old AfterBuzz studios when he came in. He did those interviews, but like you and I went from doing the Schmoes together, and then we worked together a lot after that. We did a full show on Fandango together for a while. We did a bunch of things, and then obviously Far, Far Away and Jedi Council. But yeah, it was funny because it was from 2012 until like I would say Tiff 2018 that we worked together, 2017, something like that. A long time. So I miss you terribly. Can't wait to do some more stuff with you eventually, whether it's this type of shit that we have to do in the meantime, or actually doing some shows together. So and RB3, I'm not gonna say enough about you, my man. I see you all. There's a reason you're one of the only people I really like.
Appreciate it. That means a lot.
I've told this. I've said this a million times, Ellis. You've heard. I don't know if you've heard me say this, but I mean, the audience probably sick to death of me saying it. But like, I told you, my favorite part of Comic-Con last year was right. Or not? Yeah, was it Comic-Con? Yeah, Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con.
I don't remember Comic-Con last year at all.
It was eating breakfast with RB3 every day.
Oh yeah,
it was the best
at the Springfield Inn. Yeah, they had a good breakfast.
It brought me peace. It brought me peace to hang out with RB3.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
RB3, thanks for being a great person and a great engineer and showing Dad, who's just above you, how to figure out all these technical toys. Look at all these sound effects he's got.
Yeah, they're really good, but you got to go with the classy ones.
I knew the report was coming. No.
When we Schmoes without it. Tiff, love you to pieces. Thanks so much for hopping on. And I know I know that you have so many cool things going on right now. Thanks for making us a very small part of your continued success.
Yeah.
You know what? It's all kinds of like Zoom hangs and stuff, but I will see you guys again very soon, I'm sure.
That's
Not
right.
in person though, from my couch at home.
That's right.
All right. Bye.
Love you guys. Stay safe,
Yeah.
be healthy, and wear your mask and stay 6 feet away from each other.
I know. Sure.
Robert, same to you, buddy. We'll maybe you and I will watch some NBA from Vegas if we get the finals in like this weird shirts and skins format that they're going to play like a high school gym. So
Yeah.
we'll see how we do.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, buddy.
See you, bud.
All right.
See you later, Mark.
Kristian, you're hanging on. And actually, while I go get one more beer before we count down our best moments, I'm going to add a friend of yours.
Perfect. There he is.
Well, I mean, look,
This is what he does to me. Puts you on again. What's wrong with you?
we had a lot of good times on the Schmoes No Show. You know
We
that.
absolutely did, for sure. It's like, so
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to interview you as you.
Okay,
As you.
cool.
So let me ask you a question.
Oh, okay.
What's it like being the best looking guy on the show?
You know, it's tough. You know, when I go into bars every once in a while, it's like, I mean, I have my pick of the litter, you know?
Of course.
It's really hard. It's really hard, especially with like, you know, I'm like 6% body fat now. So
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
gotten to a point where it's crazy. And I got a bunch of masks at the house if anybody needs them, but don't tell Shannon Barney.
You've got masks.
Yeah, I got.
I have a garage full of masks.
Well, you should. I mean, look, I know you because you're me. You know.
You know who I am.
Yeah, so you know exactly who I am. That's what I'm saying. No, it's crazy. You know,
This is the interview. This is the interview that I'm going to be known for, by the way.
Yeah, going on this. Well, what, me in this pose?
In this, like for where Ellis leaves me with this. This is what I would have been. I thought I was going to leave it by myself. I was going to be
Look
happy.
at the couch. This is a $7,000 couch.
Can you guess this movie? I want to see if you can guess this movie. See how good you are.
Let's see.
Hey, Roaring. Jeg har en turfen in Tom's penis.
Oh, I know what that is.
Want it one more time?
I think that's Naked Gun.
Hey, Roaring. Jeg har en turfen in Tom's penis.
I don't know what that is.
Splash.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, you remember when you've seen Splash, right?
Yeah, numerous times.
You remember at the
Are you doing sound effect?
Hey, Roaring. Jeg har en turfen in Tom's penis.
Remember when he pretends he's Swedish, and that's the only thing he knows how to say because he's been reading Penthouse.
Oh, Penthouse Forums. Those are the best magazines.
Yeah. So there you go.
Chris and I are going to count down our favorite Schmoes No moments of all time.
Can I be part of it?
Before we mercifully say goodbye to you, do you have a couple highlights of your career with Schmoes?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I came on was pretty amazing. It was such in its infancy at that point, you know, real talk. It gave me a platform to, put my, I guess, obscurity out there, but it also gave me a platform to build a persona, that I have now, which is, sexy and strong and just, overall just amazing, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that was I had mentioned that earlier. Is that the famous story is that after your first appearance, Ken and Ellis cornered me on the street and told me they can never have you on ever again.
Yeah, they didn't really know me at that point. In their defense, I mean, you were the only guy who really knew me at that point.
Well, they had met you a handful of times. I mean, Ellis certainly had known you, but not like.
I'll say this. I again, even though we did have that conversation about like, hey, this bit did not play, I will go to my grave saying that was not a great opening impression. It's you guys are acting like he sang the national anthem like Whitney Houston.
No. You are 100% correct. What I said to you though on the series was like, you got to trust me here. They hate him today. They're gonna love him tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what every chick. That's what every person.
But I said that to you, and you're like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm telling you, once they figure out who he is, they're gonna love him. You got to go. I was like, I knew it was gonna play that way. The first.
I'm a real guy. You know, I don't sugarcoat anything. You know, anymore.
Yeah.
My top 5 favorite moments of the Schmoedown was one. Yeah. I'll give them real quick and then I'll have to get out of here because I got to cook some dinner and do a bunch of other things. But
what's for dinner?
I think I'm gonna make some portobello mushroom burgers with some homemade French fries in an air fryer, and then I'm gonna douse it with a little bit of tequila.
What are you really gonna have?
I'm probably gonna make a pizza.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That is your bread and butter. That's like Stockton to Malone pick and roll.
Right exactly. It's the old backdoor cut.
We've been doing that for like 7 years.
Oh, easily. No, I think the trial of JT was one of the shining moments in the history of the Schmoedown, for sure. That was number one because that was something like where people were like, "This guy's just a complete idiot," and then I think that's when I really won over like the other part of the other crowd. Like that hated me. They're like, actually, this guy's pretty cool and pretty interesting. You know, I think that won them over there at that point. And then the first meeting with Tiffany was pretty amazing. Yep. That was amazing. And you guys are right. How she played up the character and what we were doing with storylines early on before even the Schmoedown started, which was pretty amazing as well.
That's what people don't understand. We were doing that. We've been doing that way before the Schmoedown came in.
Absolutely. It was she played it up so perfectly. No one could play. I mean, there was remember that girl that was on there that one time that still scared me to this day.
Megan.
Yeah.
That was her first appearance.
Yeah, she was super scared.
She didn't know.
Bad.
She didn't know who the character was.
Who was it? Megan Collins or something? What the hell was her name?
Finley. That's not true though. She got it afterwards though.
Yeah, she did. And then there was Kathy Kelly.
Oh yeah, she was great.
That was really funny as well. Any other girl on there was just like, who is this complete lunatic? Yep. You know, and they didn't really know what that was. But anyway, that being said, and I think, you know, it starting with the Toad Hop days.
That's also, by the way, that's also how I knew that Finstock would be a great heel when he started in the Schmoedown, because he's one of those guys. Like, every time comments would come in about how much like the fans like hated him or people hated him, he fucking loved it. He loved it. He would laugh so much.
Well, I feed off negativity.
I know you do. You always have. You let like certain comments, you'd be like, "This guy says my head looks like a busted pineapple."
Yeah.
And like, no, it's the thing that I still can't fully wrap my head around, even with Schmoedown now, because like at the end of the live Schmoedowns, when I go on stage after like we're done taping and I'm just trying to get like a couple like reaction shots and I'm like, okay, everybody cheer and then everybody boo. I'm like hearing all these boos and I'm like, I don't know how people handle like my whole like kind of career is set up to like get people's approval, and to have somebody come in and so embrace whether they love you or whether they hate you is very interesting to see.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, you know, tone deaf to that kind of stuff. But also, like a bunch of people are saying, the Spicy Lucy episode was just incredible. It was incredible. So, because I was off for a while, and it was the 200th episode.
That was 100th, wasn't it?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
you're right. No, you're right. You're right. It was.
Yeah, I'm right.
You're right.
I think it was 200. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
so the funny part about it was, if I could tell a story. So I'm like, hey, Kristian, I'm going to come on today. He's like, yeah, you're on for the 200 episode. Finstock's making a comeback. I'm like, yeah. I was like, well, I was at a bar earlier and I met this girl. Can I bring her on? And he's like, no, absolutely not. You know, it's all about you on this one. Do. And I was like, hey, Spicy, can I take a picture of you? And she's like, yeah. So I took a picture and I sent it to Kristian. He's like, yeah, bring her on.
Spicy Lucy. She was, that whole thing was just, that entire episode was chaos from start.
Oh, that was complete lunacy.
Yeah.
Spicy's a dancer now for the Miami Marlins, you know, or whatever they're called now.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, she's a dancer. She's a lot of work. Let's put it that way.
So did we have a moment in there, or did you already say?
That was 3. That was my third moment.
Third.
Yeah.
We're going to be here until midnight.
Yeah, just give us your top moment all time, Tom, if you haven't already.
Hey, Roaring.
I honestly think the trial of JT was a shining moment on the Schmoes Know show as a whole. I think it transcended and elevated the Schmoedown game. I mean, look, like I said in the video, Mark pitched a perfect game and lost.
Yeah.
Impossible to do unless you're like Andy Hawkins or whoever it was. But anyway,
it couldn't happen today.
No. That stuff, no way. No way. We're much more evolved than that. We were such in our infancy. We were young actors at that point. We were young.
Can you imagine the trial today though?
Like, well, I think our egos are too big to throw a trial.
The trial, no, it would never work today. But the trial,
it'd be like 24/7 people covering the trial of Kalinowski versus Smets or whatever it is. It'd be nuts.
It would be great, but can we formulate it as
you put band-aids on egos? No,
definitely not.
Definitely not. Yeah, that whole thing was just because again, that wasn't really it wasn't about the Schmoedown as much as it was about like the Schmoedown moment in the theatrics, and it was the Howard Stern moment. You know, it really was because
it really was.
These
that's going to transcend it. And so overall, that is my favorite moment of any Schmoedown I've ever done. That was just incredible. Hal Rudnick was great. Ken was great. All the dancing idiots with the tight onesies on.
The line is always remembered, and
forever.
Say it again.
Hold on.
We just talked about Bob Ross today. Also,
yeah, because what's his name was on. Stuckman was on it too, and he was
was on the table. Yeah, Stuckman was on the table.
It goes. My client is on. This is a trial and error, and my client's on trial, and it's an error. Paraphrasing, but I mean that's sort of what it was. And then I got you on that too because you were like, "What is this idiot going to say?" And then once I said that, you were dialed in and you were ready. And then Alicia Malone had googly eyes the whole time.
It was a riot. It was a riot. It was really funny. If you guys have never seen the trial of JTE, I mean that is a must viewing. I mean, I go back and revisit that one. It's so funny. I watch it all
the time.
I watched it with my brother not too long ago, and we would crack.
Oh, your brother said that was the best acting I've ever done in my whole entire life.
I loved it. Oh, he loved it so much.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Well, anyway, guys, I got to go now. Before you cut me off, I'll cut you guys off. I got to get out of here. I got to cook all a bunch of stuff. I got to cook cauliflower pizza. I got burrata over here. I got tequila. I got coffees. I got planters and stuff.
Yeah, we're just done.
Yeah, I think he was waiting for that.
Dude, the feeling of power, cutting that person off is just it's one of my all-time favorite things to do.
You know, going back to what you were saying though too about before, like when I wish we would have had this was when we were in transition period in between phase 3 and phase 5. So phase 4 when we were doing from drama 3-4, like when we were like, props to those guys for letting us use that office, but we were using, I don't even know what the program we were using back then to try to have people in. We had crap microphones. It was an I was embarrassed. I thought the show was done. I thought the show was done on that.
A couple of times we were just filming it, and we're like, all right, we'll film it and we'll record it and then we'll put it up somewhere. But I remember that was one of those like kind of down and out times where it's like, what the hell are we going to do? And then we found AfterBuzz, right? And then
so the way that all came about was that Maria Menounos had been on she was on
a Toad Hop.
She was on Toad Hop during phase 3, and she had a great time, and she wanted to come back. And when she came back with Kevin Undergaro, and Kevin had said to me that day, he's like, look, she's been on a lot of different podcasts. She said she had the most fun she ever had on your show the first time. And so, we wanted to do it again. And then afterwards, they invited us to her birthday party. We went that night, and it was like that infamous night that we all, partied and hung out, and craziness ensued.
To put it mildly, yeah.
Put it mildly. But then we just started talking. He kind of really admired what we were doing, and he and I started talking. And then he basically said, because AfterBuzz was a thing, and nobody was doing the live the way we were. And because remember, he asked us, he's like, does it have to be live? And we're like, yeah, we want it to be live because that's kind of the beauty of our show, because nobody was doing live really.
Right.
So then we did live, and then he was like, you guys are right. And then he took AfterBuzz live. And it was and so he was running AfterBuzz. We were able to use the studio, and they let us. We were there for a bit, and he was that studio was really good for us.
I think that's what really kind of made us realize we already knew we wanted to do a live show, but having the live show at Toad Hop, having that taken away from us, and doing phase 4 not live.
unexpectedly, and nothing against Heidi and Frank who ran it.
They didn't know.
They didn't know. Well, they got a gig because they started that Toad Hop Network because they are the big radio personalities for a long time. They were in a transition. So Frank's always been that kind of innovator, and Frank was like, "Well, I'm going to start my own podcast studio," and he did, and it was really great, and it felt like a radio station. But then they got KLOS, and they started getting like a big radio show again, and they couldn't maintain and put the shows up anymore. Plus the fact there was just too much going on with streaming at the time. So they had to pull the show. Right. I want to hear from everybody in the chat room your favorite Schmoes Know moment of all time. I'll put a couple of them up on here as we go through this. And I know a lot of people are alumni of Schmoes. I know that Kristian and I harbor love for every one of y'all. There's no way that I could have gotten everybody in the stream. So I basically got to include people who like reached out and were just like, "Hey, you doing this cool thing? I saw you and Kristian doing a thing tonight." So this is really kind of last minute. It's not like a ranking. It's not like, "Oh, I like this person better than this person," because if that was the case, Finstock would have been nowhere near this show. No, but he was the most hated list at the time. Speaking of, what are you still doing here? Yeah, come on, put the freaking headphones on.
I don't know how to. Well, yeah. Hold on, give me 1 second.
All right, we'll catch you later.
That's the only reason you brought him back, so you could do that again.
I know. It's the best. It is the best. Okay, so Chris, we're already getting some good ones in here. Joey Beans has a great one. Did that make your top 5?
That was my number 1.
Okay. How about that one?
That wasn't in my top 5. I mean, the idea of it, yeah. Cocaine Donkey's a good one too. That was right after Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna give this nut job one more chance.
What do you got? I'm here. I'm back in business.
Hey.
Yeah, I thought you were going to make dinner.
No, I already did.
Oh, good. How was it?
Yeah, it was good. I got servants here.
Oh.
I live in the compound, dude. Don't forget about that. It always works for me.
Okay, well, Tom, if you're going to hang out, then we're going to put you off camera. Then you can hear Kristian and I's top moments. Then we'll let you have one of the last words on the show. How's that sound?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I won't say a word. I'll just sit here and hang out.
Okay. Okay, so top moments.
Someone said I did a Joker impression. I never even know. Did I do a Joker impression?
Like Heath Ledger Joker?
I guess someone said I did a Joker impression. I don't remember what it was.
Okay. Oh, well, this is a great one. This didn't make my top 5 because you spent way too much company money on it, but the Predator costume was great.
That's a good moment.
That was pretty great.
Yeah, that's legendary now. We gave that away.
When did Makuga beat me at anything?
Makuga never beat Ellis. You're thinking of JTE when JTE beat me.
I got nervous.
Makuga beat me. That was
beat you?
Blue Fairy.
Oh, right. That was Blue Fairy. Yeah.
Blue Fairy is one of the most infamous moments of all time for sure.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. That one is not in my top 5. So if you want, you do 5, I'll do 5, 4, 4, 4, 4.
Yeah. These could all change. To be honest, I just kind of put together a big list, but I think that the Sex and the City review would probably come in at 5 for me.
Okay.
There was, the quality of the review. It just, we didn't know what we were doing. But I can't. Did you? I don't even know. I don't think you edited that one either. I think that one was actually edited by Martini. I don't remember. I don't know because we had
like a Martini one because we had a lot of guests.
We had a lot of people in that one, and then that joke came in about the Fozzie Bear suspenders thing, and I lost it, and we kept breaking each other on camera.
But then you said that, yeah, because I broke you, and then you said the waterboarding line, and that got me, and then it just kept going back and forth.
Because it was so real. We were both so just punished by that film. So that would definitely be number 5 for me. Yeah.
My number 5 is, I'm trying to think because I remembered a memory. So I unfortunately had to kick Trisanitera Territorials out of the top 5.
Okay.
But what I put it in, somebody just mentioned it. It was actually Abby just mentioned it. It was the Dumb and Dumber 2 intro, which I watched again because partially just because I was looking for the Schmoes Know music for like music to run at the beginning of the show, and it just like I don't know if you remember how it went down, but Kristian and I saw Dumb and Dumber 2. Whatever you think about the movie, it's not great. And we're walking out of the theater and it's just kind of like, where's our life going? Because we just saw our heroes not make the best sequel. And it's late, and Kristian, he's got to go home. He's got a baby and a wife to deal with, and we're filming the review, and Kristian just wants to get it done. He just wants to get the review shot and get in his car and go home. But I have been cooking up this idea all day to do in the intro.
Yeah.
And if you watch it, my favorite part of it is not actually when we're dying laughing. It's the first 3 seconds when you're just like done with me because I'm doing the thing. You knew I might do the thing, and now I'm doing it, and you're like, I can't fucking believe this guy.
Oh, well, but I was dying laughing. Like when it started, you watch that, like, and you do it, I go, it's good. It's good. And then we both started laughing. Then the dog started barking in the back. And we heard the dog barking. We lost it. So that one. Dumb and Dumber was great, but I think throwing in another at number 4, another review was the best and worst of what? But it was Allison. It was Kate Blanchett. Best and worst of Kate Blanchett. And the second I mentioned Allison Duty, I started losing it, and you're like, this is what I'm dealing with. And then you started, now it is my duty to tell you guys. And I started losing it. We just started crying. We kept throwing duty puns out there. And it was one of those moments where we just started laughing. It was the best and worst of Kate Blanchett. And right in the middle of it, we started crying, laughing.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's way up there. That's way up there.
It's a good one. Left. Yeah.
Yeah. My number 4 is actually, this is a credit to the top 3 moments, because my number 4 is the Mark Hamill interview that Got Mance hooked us up with. Mark Hamill was doing a little round of press for Kingsman, but we also knew he had been cast in Force Awakens, which was coming out at the end of the year. So he called into the show, and Kristian and I were super excited. A little nervous talking to our, the greatest hero the galaxy has ever seen. And we both did a great job interviewing him. He had a good time, so much so that I have it on good authority that he actually, he knew who I was when I accosted him at the Force Awakens premiere. And then he said, those guys are funny. A couple of years later, when he was going to the Last Jedi premiere, I have it on good authority that he still knew who Schmoes were. So just the fact that we could be a little earworm in that guy's brain is unreal to me.
Yeah, it was great, and I think there's a lot. I mean, so many different moments. I actually just switched up my 3 because I had another good 3, but
we'll change it in a week, and it'll be a totally different list. But that's
Ken Knapsack's drunk news. When he did the drunk news, he had come back from doing, I think, drunk movie fights, and then he was still hammered, and he might have still had the ponytail at the time, but he was out there, and he was just annihilating at Ken at 200 miles an hour. So that was a pretty good one.
What is this one? Is it the list shake?
Yeah. You don't remember the list shake when we would do the top? We would do the best and worst, and I go, here's the best.
Oh,
then I would rattle the list, and you would get so pissed when I'd rattle the list.
Yeah, but I also I just remember, I don't know who had the conversation with who, but at some point we had to kill Box Office Sunday just because I was going to bed too late on Saturday. And I wore sunglasses the next morning.
Yeah, my wife was done with me not being around on Sundays to go to your place to shoot Box Office Sunday.
Okay, so
remember what the title was when it popped up? What it said?
Of what?
The Box Office Sunday?
No.
Box Office Sunday.
Yeah.
Box Office Sunday was a thing that we did. We did that for a while too.
No, we did it. It was a good. You're still here.
Oh, me? Oh, hey guys. Hey, you know what? What we forgot to talk about was, and I know it's like a bad topic to talk about, or bad for some people, but the After Hours show.
No, yeah, those were the worst.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, back to our list of things.
Exactly. Here he is. He's back.
It was funny being the adult for a little bit, but we just all just took it too far in so many different ways with the After Hours show. I think I still have it on a drive somewhere.
Yeah, we were also. It was one of those things where we said it was going to be a lot of fun. And it was. The first one wasn't that bad, but
the first one, I remember I was on the road at the Omaha Funny Bone, and I remember finishing the show and going back to the hotel and having a couple of beers and watching it and being like, I think we really got something here.
It was, and it was, and then everyone just got too hammered for the end of it, and for the second one. The second one was everybody was shithouse, so it was just like it was all right. We both knew because we both said to each other, "Yeah, I think we're done with those," and we said, "Yeah, that's it." So did you? So what are you at, number 2?
So you just did your number 3, so I'll do my number 3.
Yeah,
my number 3 is the Tiffany's dad line.
It's really funny.
Tom, were you there for the Tiffany dad line, or were you not in the show yet?
Yeah, I mean, I was the one who originated it.
No, you weren't there. You weren't on the show that day. You didn't know.
Yes, I was.
You were. If I bring that clip up, there's no chance you were on the show that day.
Wait, what was the? Let me hear it.
Okay, well, we were talking about Tiffany's dad, and then there was also like some sort of like sexual innuendo had been made, and I just kind of married them together. And so I asked Tiffany a very pointed question about her dad's anatomy.
Here, listen. This is like just a clip that we had from it, but this is like behind the scenes.
And besides Tiffany Smith's family, I don't think I want to see me do stand-up anymore. And this Saturday at the Reno Celebrity Theater in Lake Tahoe. So come on down, check out me in a theater setting.
Yeah, well, that's that. There's a bunch of so there's. I guess there's a favorite Schmoes No moments that somebody did. And
oh, really?
Yeah, it's here. It actually has the. Yeah, it's got its favorite Schmoes No moments. Let me see. Oh yeah,
Nelson Duty was a far more recognizable.
God, we look young, dude.
This is what I got to work with. I got a guy that thinks, hey, look at that, Duty, Schmoes.
Ding dong.
It goes on for a while, but I'm trying to find that one. Which one's this?
Yeah. I just had to see a cock. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Illegal block.
Who was grown from the precocious.
Sorry, there's a whole bunch. I'm trying to find the actual one. The clip is here. Oh, here it is. This is the clip. I got it. Sorry, please. Ready?
This is going to be something that Tiffany's going to have to get her head off cock for a second to think about. Wow. Yeah.
Why did this turn into attack Tiffany?
It's not attack Tiffany.
I haven't even done anything.
I'm just trying to exercise.
This is when you want Leanne. You want Leanne to get a little dirty with that poster.
Look, I just stop thinking about male hogs for a second, and I'm going to pull that thought out. The power of Christ compels you to focus on.
Wow.
I'm spinning fucking game here.
Ken Knapsack is gonna have a heart attack in the background. That's
Guys,
payback for
you do know that my dad listens.
Hey, Mr. Smacking more. Yeah, I know.
He definitely texted me this morning to be like, "Are you on Schmoes tonight?" Yeah, Dad. Okay, I'll listen. Love you.
Dolomite.
Yeah. You know what? Then that's a good sidebar. Let's talk about your dad's penis, and then we'll get right back into the hero. That isn't. Is this? I'm trying to run the show for her. Everybody else seems to be laughing, so I figured I'd take over and just spin it into the next time. Is that not on here? I'm looking, and you know what? Yeah, I don't see that on here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to what is your favorite moment? I'll be at the Tampa Improv next weekend if anybody's in the Florida area. Besides,
it goes on for a bit, but it was.
That was a tighter window than I remember it being. I remember just being the heavens opening and just nobody saying anything, but I wanted to squeeze that line in.
It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, well, he doesn't really go off the rails that much. I mean, Mark was the cooler heads prevail guy on the show, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, when we went off the rails, he's like, all right, this needs to stop.
Yeah, but the thing I'll say about Kristian is like, if the only reason I had the openings to have those kind of like 3-point shots is because, and it really, I don't think that the show took a dip in quality necessarily, but it's like when Kristian took a hiatus, I realized how hard it is to run a 2-hour show. And I had like Joelle or T or Emma or Sasha or Grace and like all these great co-hosts with me, but it's like 2 hours takes a lot out of you. So for Kristian to just like shoulder that brunt, and now he does it every day, and it's like it just gives everybody else an opportunity to kind of pick and choose their moments.
Yeah, I mean, you learn the personalities that way too, and we've always like been able to kind of because it was the Schmoes show was the forefront was you and I, and then we would bring in those cast of characters and build them up. What are you smiling about over there?
No, it's some of the comments are really funny.
What happened?
So he's a Peter Dinklage's taller brother. I've heard that before.
Okay, so Kristian, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is definitely Tricentis Taurus tops. It set
that was lunacy.
It set the bar for so much, and it was the birth that day was the birth of the Schmoedown, as far as at least the impetus for us to have the conversation about it. Because if that match never happens, you and I don't initiate our conversation at the pizzeria about it, because that had already happened. That happened,
right?
And then after that happened, we were like, "Oh, that really worked. It was a lot of fun, that battle. We should do more of those." And then we went to Anaheim and we're in the pizza place and we started talking about it. But that moment when JTE he has Kristian Rubalcaba beat, he has him beat easily, and in a classic JTE says Tricentis Taurus tops, and the way that the entire table just exploded. Can you guys guess who was on the table? Do you remember who was on the table?
Oh man, I don't.
It was Tiffany.
No, it was not Tiffany.
It was Alicia.
Yes, Alicia was on.
Yeah.
And then
it was it David Gambino?
No. It was Ray Drake.
Oh.
Ray Drake. Perfect.
Finstock Exchange.
So I will say that my number, what I was going to put at my number 3, but I have to make it, you know what I'll do? Because, like you said, Mark, because someone had mentioned the number 1 moment with Roddy Piper and JT. That's my number 1.
That was your number 1?
It was my number 1. So I'll just put it to the side because it's my legendary moment. We'll call it legendary. So I can put another number 1 in there. But that entire moment and what happened with that was because, like I said, Dagnino and I were big fans of Roddy growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And Roddy, when Steve Simone brought Roddy into our live show, the Schmoes Know live show that we did, it was legendary. People screaming and chanting his name, and it was awesome. But then I had the honor of being able to co-host the Rod Pod show with him.
Right.
Steve would co-host it, and then Steve would go out of town, and Steve said, "Hey man, Roddy really likes talking to you. When I'm out, would you want to co-host?" And then I did, and then even when Steve came back, he's like, I like talking wrestling with you too, and just BS. And would you like to come on with us? So I would do Roddy's show all the time. So I asked Roddy to do Schmoes that night, one of the nights I was on Rod Pod, and he's like, yeah, and he was kind of tired and everything too, but something had happened to him. One of his friends, I think at the time, had passed.
I remember he was down when
before we knew that day, early in the morning, I told him I wanted to play a prank on our engineer, or on our intern at the time. And he was down. I told him what I wanted to do. I said, we'll be in the middle of it. He'll ask you a question you think is stupid, and you go after him, and then you freak out, and then you kind of pretend you're going to beat the shit out of him, and then we'll ask you to leave, and you take off. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And he can't. And I said, well, I'll give you the nod in the middle of it when we should do it. So he comes in, and his son was like, yeah, he's not in the mood to do it. He's not feeling good because he had heard about his friend. So I'm like, all right, absolutely. Then we won't do it. During the show, he looks at me and goes, Roddy looks at me and goes, and he nods, and I'm like, yes. And I was like, all right, oh yeah, okay, great. So then we just went with it, and then Roddy, being the constant professional that he was, it's so good too that you have one of those.
Yep.
So that's awesome. So then Roddy did it, and he's still that video still gets hits and people comment on it, and I still see some people. Roddy was so good that people thought that Roddy was just being an asshole, and even though we even say that it was a prank.
I would say that back, it kind of through back channels, that clip has probably gotten people into the Schmoedown just because they're Piper fans. They search, they see it. It's a funny clip. They want to know more about that. And then it's a gateway right back into this wrestling adjacent world that is the Schmoedown.
Yep. I want to see how many people have watched that.
I agree. He's a consummate professional.
Yep.
And it's funny, when I was there when he did stand up at Room 5 the one night.
That was the one. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't.
This clip out that we did, 118,000 views. It's got. So good. And if you guys have never seen it before, you just Google Roddy Piper slaps an intern for asking dumb questions, and it comes up. Right.
It's great. My number 1 moment is the trial of JTE. Because I just think that it married everything that Schmoes was about, is about, and where it's going, because you had the Schmoedown element, you had the community element, you had Kristian and I were front and center initially, but then you had this cast of characters that just could not be denied. So everybody gets the spotlight at some point during that 2-hour show because JTE he crashed on my couch for like a weekend before he moved back home. And I came home drunk from the wedding we were at, Kristian. And I wasn't hammered, but I had a couple beers. And I was like, hey, why don't we watch the trial? Like, it was me versus you. Let's watch the trial again. And we were just laughing our ass off. We had such a good time with how great it was.
Yeah. When did we rewatch that?
JT and I did after Martha's wedding.
Oh, I see. Okay. It was really good. So well, then to transfer into what I guess I'll put my new number one in would probably be Wrong Number Dana. I don't think that you were on the call for that one. You weren't on the call for that one?
No, I remember watching it from the road and laughing my ass off.
So what had happened with Wrong Number Dana was that we would get phone calls in from Schmoeville, and they'd call in, and I think right after us was Nick Ritchie had his show, and he would do a show. And so this woman calls in, and she thinks she's listening to the Nick Ritchie show. So she starts talking to me about like all these problems and things that are going on. So I just went with it, and she said her name was Dana. Let me see if I can find it, but it was a lot of fun to do for sure. Do you remember that one, Finstock?
Absolutely, I remember it. I mean, you totally called into the wrong place.
I got it right here. Hold on.
And it wasn't even shtick.
No, it was totally real. Hold on. Get to it in a second.
My name is Dana.
Dana, what's up, Dana? How are you?
Where you calling from, Dana?
I'm real good. I'm calling from Oxnard.
Okay, so what do you have to say, Dana?
Well, I'm definitely interested in the whole dynamic of the couples therapy. It's just amazing how. First of all, I'm a huge fan of yours, Nick. I think it's fantastic that you tell the truth and tell people like it is, and that's how I'm always like that. I get trouble for my mouth all the time.
Are you talking about couples therapy?
Yeah. It's fantastically crazy. I couldn't be in a room with that girl. She's nuts.
I agree, especially if you saw what she did last Tuesday. It was unbelievable,
ridiculous,
unbelievable. Yeah. Like if you ever apparently they cast her in a film.
Oh my God,
it's unreal.
So where do you go from here? What's the next step, Dana?
What's going to happen though, Dana? Like
they definitely have to break up.
Yeah, I mean, how do you make that work?
There's no way.
How do you make it work?
There's no way you can make it work. That's ridiculous. How can you be with somebody that's older than your damn parents? That's insanity.
It's disgusting, and I want to write a letter.
Absolutely. It's just horrible. They're going to do what they do, but there's no way it's going to last.
All right,
no way in hell.
All right. Well, Dana, do me a favor though, too. Because we are big fans of there's a podcast called the Schmoes Know, which we're also friends with. Let me know your thoughts on this, and you should follow them on Twitter as well. The Schmoes Know.
Sure.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Dana.
No problem. And you know what? I just want to tell you, I hope you and Shane make it. I adore her. She's awesome. And I wish you both the best.
Thank you. I love her to death, and I love you for calling. Thank you.
Dan.
Wow.
Awesome.
That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. That was probably the best improv you've ever done in your whole entire life.
Dude, I pray for Wrong Number Dana type call. Every time one of these telemarketers are calling my phone, I always pick up on SEN and I try to get but it never pans out. It never pans out.
You should hear mine go on. Oh my God.
I've gotten a couple, like Collider Live, we had one or two, but nothing like Dana. Dana was the best.
No, she was a lunatic. I mean, who did she think she was calling?
Was there ever a follow-up though? Like,
she thought she was Nick. No, she thought she was calling Nick Ritchie. Nick Ritchie had a show on. He did that show, The Dirt, and it was a really popular show. And like it was, and he was, his wife's name was Shane, and like so they were calling up about this whole thing that she was. I don't know what the fuck she was talking about, couples therapy, and we just kind of went with it.
Wait, did she ever follow Schmoes Know on Twitter? Does anybody that like?
No.
You must have had somebody looking at Twitter that night to see if somebody named Dana followed.
We didn't have that many followers back then. We didn't really.
Girls named Dana don't have Twitter, dude. They don't have Twitter.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what happened to Dana. I don't know if she ever found out the truth or whatever happened to Dana. It was yeah, but I should, that's right now that I don't even know what channel that's on. Wrong Number Dana. I should put that up on the actual SEN channel. It's it's on the Collider podcast channel. I gotta put it on our channel.
You should go through this stuff, and there's probably a bunch of moments that we like. I actually hearing you with Wrong Number Dana. There was a caller we had in Phase 6 where I think they opened with like, "Yeah, I just want to make a comment. Like, never take a girl to Chinese food on the first date," or some random thing like that. And it's just like,
I remember that.
It's just so much craziness, so much silliness, and I'm glad that we got to bring that vibe, even just a little bit of it, to everybody out there watching tonight. We know it's not the easiest time to be in a household right now if you're Christian, or to be living with a cat and your girlfriend like Tom, or even by myself like me. So there's a lot everybody's dealing with. But thank you guys for tuning in. I do have one more little surprise for y'all, because I feel like a lot of people are saying that the trial of JTE is their best. And even though JTE couldn't join us tonight, I would at least like to have maybe one more back and forth joust between the two lawyers that evening.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
What up?
Justice Spot.
How's it going, guys?
Justice Spot in the house.
Oh yeah, man. My Justice Spot. It's at the junkyard right now. I gotta get the robot outfit.
Yeah, we were talking about like all the old classic moments on the show, and that was the trial of JTE ranked very high on a lot of people's lists because there's so many great moments in the true or false.
Yeah.
When you came up,
even though I don't have the costume, it's in the garage. Let me see if I could summon it.
It was so fucking good.
True or false? There you go.
It was great. Do you remember like because I remember here, Ellis, a trivia question for you before we ask Hal how do you remember who the attorney was supposed to be before Finstock? It was supposed to be Hal versus somebody else. Do you know who it was supposed to be? Person canceled the day of, and we wouldn't have gotten Finstock doing it.
Oh boy.
Was it the Teen Wolf guy?
It was Andrew Santino.
Oh,
Andrew Santino was supposed to be the attorney, which also was really funny. But
he couldn't beat me. I came in with the fire.
Yeah, but Hal came in. And crushed it.
Tom, what did you think of Hal's Justice Spot and Justice Spot, or Hal? What did you think of Tom's kind of their way of litigating for their client?
You want to go first, Hal? It's up to you. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was trickery, bullshit. Every dirty trick in the book. Where'd you get your law degree? The Caribbean?
Yeah, the Dominican Republic.
That was so good. That whole moment was just amazing.
No, it was just magic in that. Even though we were working in such a small space, it felt bigger than the spaces we work in now, or we do work in now. There was something about that space over there that was just iconic.
Oh,
it was a little house in Encino, and
and
it was just so unbelievable. There'd be 50 people in that room, and it wasn't even that hot, to be honest. It was just.
I don't know about that. Remember when the air conditioner broke? It was pretty freaking hot in there, and remember that one time? We had the fly in there that one time, and it was driving us nuts. Nobody could find out where it was.
Yeah,
Popcorn Talk Studios.
That's right. Yeah, because you guys did stuff there for a while too.
That's what
Movie Fights was born there.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. JT lived there. JT lived there actually.
He did. He did.
Lived in like a bunk bed on top of the office.
Wasn't JT Maria Menounos' pool boy for?
He was, amongst other things.
Amongst everything. Oh, man.
I'm like,
how you doing? Okay in the out there in the scary world?
You know what? Knock on wood. I hanging in there. I'm lucky. My wife gave me a haircut the other day, so all bets are off. But doing all right. Doing all right. Thanks. How about y'all?
I'm good, man. I mean, I'm good. I'm just working out every day. I'm trying to get sexier and faster.
Yeah, sundown, guns out,
and stronger. I'm trying to get all these things.
My man Finstock stays shirtless.
That is a t-shirt right there.
I haven't wore a shirt in 3 weeks.
Hell yeah.
Tom and Hal, I'm going to throw it to y'all for your salvo. This is just one of many kind of sort of the Schmoes get together and talk about the old days. Hal, your final word, and thank you for joining us on this broadcast.
Oh, well, I just want to thank you for having me. I remember before we were all involved in the movie universe here and movie YouTube and everything, we were I came on your show with Maria Menounos, and that was from there, that was just like a wonderful introduction to you guys, and always appreciate you guys just throughout the Screen Junkies and everything. Y'all were always the best, and I hope everybody out there stays safe, and don't just stay safe while you're quarantined. Make it an iconic quarantine, and quarantine to the very height of your powers.
Thank you, Al.
Great seeing you, bud. Harmon Killebrew, one of the best batters of all time.
Yes, go Twins. At Hal Rudnick, everybody. Thanks. Stay.
Hal did come in during the phase 3. That's right. He did come in. He was a couple times.
Did he compete a couple of times?
In Schmoeville? Yeah, absolutely did. He played in Intergeekdom. He played against Sam Levine, I think, in his first match.
I beat Hal Rudnick in the one match. That's where I remember him.
Yeah, you did. You for Box Office Breakdown.
Yeah. We smoked. We were the best.
Yes, there he is.
Oh, no.
Hello again. I was just watching the show.
I remember Hal when he screamed at Monday. He goes, "There are more movies than Die Hard."
Oh yeah. Oh no. We had a Screen Junkies versus Schmoes or something, and I was partnered with Mundy.
Oh, that was Schmoedown. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. And we had 80s movies, and he took it, and I was just I knew that was one category where I knew half the answers, and I just got too worked up.
Yeah, you guys didn't fare that well in that one.
Nope.
All right. I'm bringing people back in. Bye, Hal. Sorry, you can do the bye now.
Bye.
He's a great guy. He was really funny with Justice Spot. I always see him randomly around town.
Let me ask you a question, Ellis. Out of all the people that survived, of course, it's Finstock, who is still here for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's going to change very shortly because we all got to say goodnight. So, Tom, I'm going to give you your parting words for this little no get together we had.
So there is, I am trying out I sent my video in for the new Survivor. I'm dead serious, and that's why I'm training and doing these things. I think I'm ready for it. So I might be gone for maybe 6 to 8 months. But here's the deal. I'm either going to be the first one voted off, or I'm going to win the whole goddamn thing. That's all that matters. So look for me.
You're really trying to do Survivor?
Yeah, I put out a video. I'm dead serious.
Okay, I remember with Survivor, you can take one item with you as your good luck charm. What are you going to take?
That's a good question. Probably tequila. At this point, All
right, with that is
Popeye DVD with Robin Williams.
Now you hit the button, will you?
In Tom's penis.
I'm so proud of you and how far you've matriculated, Kristian.
I love it.
You've matured so much since the Allison Duty incident.
Never have, never will. But I also realized what I'm bummed about is that I could have actually shown everybody the actual clips and stuff too. There's a stupid share button that I didn't do.
Well, then all the more reason again to maybe do this more than just as a one-off. What do you say?
Yes, but you want to watch the Allison Duty clip real quick?
Play us out with the Allison Duty clip.
All right, let me find the Allison Duty clip, and then we'll do this. So let me say. All right, this should work. Tell me. All right, let me know.
The comments will definitely let us know.
Yes. Where is it? Oh no, can I not do this?
Oh boy,
I got it. All right, so you can see. All right. So you just you can see that. All right. So you see this? You see that? Okay. Here we go.
Can't see anything.
What's that?
We can't see anything. No.
Oh, what do you see? You just see.
I just see black.
Does it say enjoy?
Nope.
Oh shoot! All right, so maybe it's not working. Hold on. I know. Now you just what's it double? Yeah, don't worry about it. See,
this is the only way to end the show.
I'm trying to do it. Let's see. I have one more thing that I can try to do.
You know, if you figured it out in the downtime and then you said, well, we're going to do this again sometime, then it's kind of like
we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that. We'll have to.
All right. Well, then, look, thank you guys, everybody in the chat room, for keeping us alive, for letting us continue to peddle our unique brands of idiocy through all these different phases and all these different iterations. It means the world to Kristian and I that y'all show up and watch even these simple things that we do during these weird times. But thank you all for tuning in. Kristian, the last word goes to you, and I think I know what you're going to say.
Is that it?
We're looking for a peace out, Mother S, but I guess that'll do.
Hey, Roaring.
No. It's like Sandy Koufax and Catcher.
He's going to be in the studio for another 3 hours just talking to himself.
Yeah, that's what I do every day anyway. Brett's here sometimes, I guess.
All right. Love y'all. Peace out, Mother F's.